Hi, welcome to our Friday Trends special. And you know what trends are special for me? Eat, drink, and be merry. A salute. Hi, this is Gerald Celente, and here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, that's what I usually do from here, but not today. Today we have with us again great chef Marcus Guiliano, who he and his wife Jamie have one of the best restaurants anywhere, any place, Aroma Time. And if you have time and you're in upstate New York, you're going to want to go to Ellenville to go to Aroma Time. And I go there when I want the finest of the finest. And, I like to drink, and when I go to Aroma Time, I get the best of the best, not only in food, but in the tastes that I enjoy to have a sip of this and that. And what do we have today, Marcus?
We're talking cognac today. Cognac, which is a very popular brown spirit. Cognac can be a wonderful thing.
I love cognac. So, of course, this isn't a local brand.
Because cognac can only come from Cognac, France.
Yeah, right.
That's the downfall to this. If it were outside of Cognac, France, it would be called brandy.
Brandy, yeah.
And something interesting enough is we've talked about Kentucky bourbon.
Right.
Kentucky, before they were doing bourbon, they were making brandy.
Yeah.
The first commercial winery in the U.S., I've been told, was in Kentucky. And so to make brandy, to make cognac, Armagnac as well, you need to make wine first.
Oh, I didn't know.
So you need a winery. In this case, this is Ungui Blanc. Ungui Blanc is a grape in here. Now, one of their neighbors is a place called Armagnac.
Oh, yeah.
Armagnac, same process, almost the same process. They're using Ungui Blanc, Follet Blanc, and another grape called Colombard. They're using 3 grapes. Here they're basically using 99% Ungui Blanc. The other ones is a good mixture of the other 3. Armagnac is distilled once. This is distilled twice. Armagnac had its roots in first, 100 years. Armagnac beat them to the market by 100 years.
I love Armagnac.
Yes. Armagnac is a little bit more body because that one time distilled as opposed to 2, so it can really bite you a little more. The same time that Cognac was starting their run in history, Kentucky was making brandy. So almost the same era, you have the 2 that were starting up. Now, if you were to walk around Cognac, France, you could spot a cognac storage house. The outside of it is covered with black mold, a good black mold. In the barrels, you have what's called the angel share, which is the evaporation that happens naturally in every spirit that's put in a barrel. 2 to 4% is the average spirit that's lost a year in these barrels. The barrels are porous. And when this angel share emits out of the windows and goes up the side of the building, it makes a unique environment for this friendly black mold.
Right.
So you can walk down the street and say, there's cognac in that building there.
Wow.
Interesting, really interesting. So cognac, Armagnac, this is cognac. Now, prior to globalization and the brands coming in, corporations and people being money hungry and greedy, you would take your barrel of spirits and ship it to the New World in the barrel. When it got to the New World, you might know what you were drinking, you might know it's cognac, but you didn't know really who made your cognac. You didn't know who made your rum if it was going the other way because it really wasn't branded properly. So now people want their brand on it. They want to advertise, they want to resell. It's now a big business. So what happens? They stop the oak barrels on the ocean.
So what did that do? How did that change
Well,
it?
what happens is you have the oak, the whiskey, the rum, whatever it is, in the ocean, shaking, scraping oak constantly, and mellowing it out. So let's pretend this is an oak barrel on the ocean. It's going to constantly hit oak and wash oak, which now helps this get more surface contact with oak. The more surface contact it gets, the quicker it ages, the more it mellows out, may develop more characteristics. So it's called the allure of the ocean. The allure of the ocean was lost.
Wow.
Well, Celt Cognac, its name is Celt Tour du Monde, Tour of the World. They've brought back the allure of the ocean. Oliver Celt, the Celt family, They ship it around the ocean on a cargo ship. It goes, when you buy this bottle, you'll have a tag on here and it shows you where it went. The 1921, how many ever ports of call it went?
Wow,
It'll show you the
far
map
out.
and show you where it's gone around the
Wow.
globe. It gets shipped back to the distillery and then put in the bottle and then shipped to its destination.
Wow.
Now, one of the reasons I love dealing with small brands and these the big corporations I'm not a fan of. I put this on my menu in 2004. I did a blog post. And who picks it up? Oliver Kelt. I got interviewed for the newspaper, actually, and I was recommending this for Easter. So I was recommending it for some holiday, some feature. Oliver Kelt picked up the article from France.
Wow.
Sends me an email immediately. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have my product in your restaurant in New York. Please, if you're ever in the area, come visit us and see what we're doing in the distillery. Now, that's somebody who's proud of what they're doing. Now,
Have you gone?
I have not gone, but I've met Oliver several times because he comes to New York. And I meet him at shows, and he knows who I am. I know who he is, and we have a great conversation. And that's how business is supposed to be done, with relationships, right?
Well, there's something else that happened that young people have no idea. When I was like you mentioned, all the different brands. When I was a young guy, like now, for example, if there's a butcher's shop, it's a big deal. Two of my uncles, may they rest in peace, were butchers. But what would happen is all the different stores, all the different unique things were killed because they killed the antitrust acts, the Robinson-Patman Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, Clayton Antitrust Act, that prohibited the bigs from taking it all. Like you take for example, the drugstores, CVS and Walmart's, Walgreens. So what do you have there? They have about, if you put them together, about 25,000 stores. So now break that up. And imagine 25,000 independently owned drugstores. So young people have no idea that that's the way it used to be. And that's what you do. You bring in the uniqueness of the individual, the care, the desire to do the best that they can do, create the best that they could create without the bottom line being the most important thing.
Exactly.
So let's have a taste of this.
Absolutely.
These glasses.
Perfect. So this is this.
These are Zizzy. My book, What Zizzy Gave Honey Boy. May she rest in peace. These are her glasses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now this is a VSOP. Very special old pale.
Okay.
There's all kinds of regulations as far as VS, VSOP, and XO. XO being, those are the aging requirements. XO being 6 years or more. VS being the basic. Everything hits oak. It has to hit oak by law. They have to put it in barrels.
So what's the top? The XO?
XO, and then there's also some other terms out there that they'll put some house terms on. Of course, you have Napoleon. They might say reserve. They might throw some other house terms out there. The neat thing about this is they're a distillery and the bottler. Some of those bigger brands, they're just blenders. So back in the late 1600s, early 1700s, you had a few people that came from England, Martell, Hennessy. They went there and said, this is the boom. They're blenders. So they take everybody else's spirits that they're being distilled in smaller houses, take it to their place and start blending it to make their brand. So same thing with Champagne. Champagne is fascinating. 80,000 acres of grapes growing in Champagne, the size of Queens, New York. There's 70,000 farmers growing grapes, but only 4,000 labels. Most of them are just adding their grapes into a co-op or selling them off to a bigger guy. So all those big fancy brands of champagne you see in the store, they don't really make the champagne. They're buying grapes, they're buying the juice, or they might be buying the finished product and just blending it. They're blenders, they're negotiants. They're not the person who grows the grapes, picks the grapes, distills the grapes, and bottles it into a bottle.
And that's the ones you want.
In champagne, it's called grower champagne. When you go to the store, ask for a grower champagne.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to do that.
So,
Chin chin. Wow. Fine, light, and tight.
It is so smooth, delicious. The caramel, a little bit of roasted apple in here. Really some great flavors coming through.
Boy, this is a nice drink to have on a cool winter day.
Everybody who I've turned on to this, because people come in and they ask for the big brands automatically, which isn't their fault.
Right, that's what I used to do.
Now we show them this, we tell the
This is a whole
story.
different- Yeah, this is.
People come to us just because we have this. They're like, what is that cognac that I can get nowhere else? I can't get anywhere else. Now, quick story on how I got turned on to this. I was working at a famous hotel resort in Colorado, the Broadmoor.
Oh yeah, I've been to Portland.
The longest running 5-star property in America since 1960. And in their fine dining French restaurant, they have a cognac trolley, a dessert trolley that comes out afterwards. And they have 20 cognacs on there. My last night working there, I was the sous chef. I was the assistant chef in that restaurant. The last night working there, they came to me, and thank you for leaving, this and that. And they said, would you like a cognac? I said, sure, but I don't know much about cognac. I'm in my early 20s. And they said, taste this one, taste this one, taste this one, taste this one.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I like this one. They go, funny you should say that. And then what did they pull out? The Celt Tour de Monde, and they explained the process to me. And ever since then, I said, this is the cognac, because I experienced it firsthand, tasting a flight of several different cognacs. So, and again, this is wine first. It's Ungi Blanc grape. It's made into wine, 7-8% alcohol. And then the wine is distilled, oak aged, and in this case, shipped in oak around the world before it gets into the bottle for its final destination. If you're ever in Cognac, stop in and say hi to Oliver Celt. Tell him you saw us here. Tell him if you've had his cognac. Tell him you've had his cognac, and please look. I mean, amazing product, amazing story, and a great guy all around.
Yeah, and if you're ever in upstate New York, you want to go to Aroma Time, because you'll have the time of your life, and you get the best of the best. Thank you, Marcus.
Cheers.
Slow down in the house. Your armchair is so great.